For as long as mainstream music's been a cultural force, there have been many musicians that have taken their acts a step further. Brave artists that have blurred the lines between themselves and their art. Musicians that have become their music. Playing a character on stage has long been a part of live music. Many have even developed aligning personas outside of stage life, be it MF Doom and his infamous headgear, the terrifying costume design of Slipknot, the helmets of Daft Punk, the painted faces of Kiss, acts like Insane Clown Posse, Marshmello, Buckethead, Car Seat Headrest, or even the animation of Gorillaz. Many have attempted an alter ego-like status. However, in the age of the internet, few have exploited the world of character portrayal as successfully as Santa Cruz native Oliver Tree. Oliver Tree Nickel was born on June 29, 1993, in Santa Cruz, California, a beach town wacky enough to create somebody of this kid's caliber. Some of his earliest musical endeavors included playing in a ska band called Irony, and then later developing as a solo artist under his first known moniker, Kryph. Not much is known about Oliver Tree's first solo endeavors. In fact, it's super hard to figure out whether exactly he even officially released music under this name. If you search up Kryph on Spotify, you can find an artist by the name of Kryph Nickel, which I originally thought was Oliver, but it's just a combination of Kryph and Oliver's real last name. However, I found out that this is a fan account from Reddit, and the only uploaded music on it consists of mashups of released Oliver Tree songs. There are some super buried YouTube videos that are obviously Oliver Tree that are uploaded under the name Kryph, and one is a video of him rapping entitled Kryph Spittin'.
Like an embryo, then it has food let loose and move to the base like a fat chick. Or I could punch you in the face and make your body do a backflip. That shit will hurt when the ground comes arriving. It's so hard, and the sun and earth colliding. The rain is dividing, creating my writing. My existence from
which was uploaded in 2010. Then there's another one titled Original Kryph Set that was uploaded in 2011, of what looks like a DJ set. I also found a Google Drive hidden in the depths of the internet with a ton of unreleased and previously released but since deleted Kryph music. But most of this just sounds like some kid in his basement playing with Ableton Live. Nothing too interesting. There isn't much known about Oliver's stint as Kryph, but it is one of the first times that we saw Oliver take on a musical endeavor that eventually failed. Toward the end of high school, sometime around 2012 or 2013, Oliver began releasing music under his own name, Tree. Shortly after, he signed a deal with London-based label, R&S Records, before taking a short hiatus to attend university at San Francisco State and then the California Institute of the Arts. In 2013, he released an EP entitled Demons as Tree, and a year later his debut LP, Splitting Branches. Splitting Branches is actually a super interesting project, mixing elements of electronica with singer-songwriter and hip-hop cuts that are incredibly well produced and interesting. Splitting Branches really proves how little understanding we have of Oliver's actual musical talent, and even who he intends to be musically in the future. His output as Tree makes it very apparent that Oliver had taken a serious shot at developing a musical career as himself, and it didn't work. Presumably, this could be why he went the route he did and developed into what he is today, but we will most likely never know.
What's up? My name's Turbo. I'm 32 years old, I love to dance, and I sell ecstasy to children at raves. Hit me up.
That Vine made about Oliver Tree and Getter was uploaded on March 27, 2016, and it's the first time that the image most people know now as Oliver Tree was referred to as the character Turbo. This time period is really where we see Oliver's musical journey begin to envelope alternate mediums and morph into an act and a character. At the time of that recording, he lived in a house with American DJ Tanner Petula, aka Getter, aka the Dude, and YouTuber/comedian Chad LeBaron, also known as Churdleys. Around this time, he started appearing as the character Turbo in many of LeBaron's videos. Here's a clip of him from 2017 in October in a Churdley video titled Scooter Boys.
Gnarly. Your time is up.
There are a few instances from Oliver Tree's Vine account in 2016 where he could have been seen wearing the outfit that we all know today, but it wasn't until the aforementioned Vine that he gave his character a true and tried name. You can also find Vines on the same account from 2013 where Oliver was referencing his music as Tree.
So the vinyls came in today.
These vines were uploaded to an account called Tree Collaborations, which is also the name of the YouTube channel and the SoundCloud account that much of the music that came out under Tree was uploaded to. After his track When I'm Down blew up, Oliver signed to Atlantic Records.
My hair blows up when I'm alone. Inside out, I might explode. I shut my...
On May 26, 2017, he released a pair of singles under Atlantic, which both made it onto the debut EP, Alien Boy. One titled Welcome to LA, and the other titled All I Got. The latter featured art with Oliver dressed as Turbo, with a razor scooter that read Turbo, marking the first direct mention of the character in Oliver's music. What makes this moment so significant is the fact that Oliver's music tends to be sort of a separate entity from much of the lore and the persona that he displays in interviews and videos. Generally speaking, his music is much more serious. It doesn't really present itself as a joke. The two work together in this strange tangent, and moving forward, Oliver began to work with this strategic mix of comedy and more serious art to create the Oliver Tree that we all know today. Ever since the man named Oliver Tree pursued his character in full effect, he's been referencing the birth of a new character, who he calls Little Ricky ZR3. Prior to and after the release of Tree's major label debut, Ugly's Beautiful, he was consistently seen ranting and complaining about Atlantic Records in interviews and on Twitter.
When I tried to release the music, I asked the label, can we put the album out, when's the date? And they said, well, to tell you the truth, you need to have 1 million followers before you can release the label. Before you can release a label or a song or an album or anything on this project.
Simultaneously, he would pepper the name Little Ricky ZR3 into these conversations, and he cited him as the only feature on his entire album and the only modern artist that he actually respects. The thing is, nobody knew who the hell this guy was, and eventually Oliver's fanbase began to catch on to the gimmick and quickly started to muster up theories. The original general consensus was that Little Ricky was simply Oliver himself, and that eventually he would begin to release music under the new title to escape the chains placed on him by Atlantic, and most fans cited the fact that his feature on 1993 is clearly just Oliver's voice pitched down as evidence for this claim. However, since then, the consensus has kind of been blurred. Casey Matson is a frequent collaborator of Tree. He's a friend and a member of his touring band, and many are now theorizing that he is Little Ricky due to some comments that he made on Instagram Live and some mysterious tweets he's made. I'm not going to continue too much further down this rabbit hole, but I will say that the scavenger hunt that Oliver/Tree/Kryph/Turbo/Little Ricky has turned their identity into is near genius. At this point, it's becoming hard to know who Oliver Tree actually is, and I think that's fully intentional. The directions that he could go in now are infinite. He'll most likely continue to freak out in interviews and challenge professional scooter riders and direct over-the-top, high-budget music videos. The impact he leaves on them makes his universe even more interesting. The deeper and deeper you get into his world, the tougher it becomes to know when he's acting and when he isn't. And once again, that's quite obviously fully intentional. Take, for example, the end of his music video for Bury Me Alive, where he breaks character to admit that he had broken in somewhere to film the music video.
Let's go. Shut the guard.
Or when he freaks out on Anthony Fantano and some dude that looks like the Walmart version of him says, Oliver is done talking before ending the video. Despite all of this, Oliver Tree knows exactly what he's doing. As he has stated before, he's the alien boy, and one can only guess what he will transform into next. And I respect Oliver Tree. I think he works hard, and I don't think he's going anywhere. In my eyes, people are overlooking what he's doing. His road to success was about as rocky as it gets, but in a superbly unconventional way, he made it work. After all, he fell down to earth from 100 miles away, and somehow he still makes it work. He's still up working while your bitch ass sleeps, and he's an alien among the human beings.
I fell down.